You know, there's an old saying that certain athletes from an early age are bound for glory. Now, this guy specifically was part of one of the most glorious moments in hockey history, one of the most glorious moments in U.S. Olympic history, the starting goalie for Team USA during their Olympic run at Lake Placid in 1980. Not the greatest goalie in the world, but my God, what a money goalie. Jim Craig, 6'1", 185, the pride of northeastern Massachusetts, first came to major prominence in the early to mid 1970s in one of the best high school runs ever for a goalie in Massachusetts. He won the Massachusetts High School Championship in 1975 at Oliver Ames, and he was a high school all-star, all-state first team in Massachusetts in 72, 73, 74, and 75. He was Oliver Ames MVP in 1975. He went 54-2-1 during his 4-year career at Olivia Ames, which is probably one of the greatest records that high school hockey will ever see in the States. Did not play varsity hockey for Boston University in 76-77, but was on a freshman team. Now, 75-76, he was on the Massasoit JC squad that season before moving to Boston University. Now, at Boston University, again, put up some dynamite numbers. His draft year with Atlanta, he played 27 games, 78 and 79. He again was a strong player and was selected to be one of the main goalies for the U.S. Olympic team in their what they call their full route towards Lake Placid. He played 48 games that campaign. He had some tough games against the Russians down the stretch, but it all worked out. Now, we all know the background of this, where they tied Sweden early, but Czechoslovakia played the major game against Russia. They took Treček out after the first period, and it was a back-and-forth game in the final, and Craig held the fort after Ruzioni's what was going to be the winning goal. Later went on to beat Finland. Again, had an outstanding World Championship debut, because at the time the 80 Olympics was the World Championship title. Now, he eventually signed into his first NHL contract with Atlanta, the team that drafted him. Now, he was taken 72nd overall that year. Kind of a steal in the fourth round, but also the Cincinnati Stingers of the WHA had him high on the radar. They took him 79th overall in round 9 of the 77 draft, a late pick that would draw a lot of controversy because a lot of people didn't know that the WHA had drafted him. Now, again, new contract 3 days after winning gold at the 80 Winter Olympics, and he became the first member of the Miracle on Ice squad to sign with an NHL team. Now, he stopped 24 shots in his first NHL game, helping the Flames, Atlanta of course, to a 4-1 victory over Colorado, the Rockies, not the Avalanche. Won his first start for Boston when he was a backup the next season, making 20 saves in a 3-2 victory over visiting Montreal on October 12, 1980. Now, a weird incident in his career. He had surgery to repair a deviated septum during the 81 off-season. Now, again, he couldn't stay with the big club. He was released by Boston in October 82, but eventually signed with Minnesota as a free agent on March 22nd, 83, and dressed as a backup for one of the Stars' playoff games that year. Now, unfortunately, he missed the remainder of the 83-84 season with a torn hamstring muscle, an injury suffered during Minnesota's January 20th, 84 game at Detroit. He never played the NHL after that and retired later in 84. Now, he also played with, again, the Erie Blades of the AHL and Salt Lake of the CHL. Now, he also was a roster player with the Canada Cup in 81, but he was injured, did not play, and again, that team got 4th place. And he played at the Worlds in 79. He was 7th overall in 79. 83, he helped the U.S. to a first-place finish in Pool B. Now, NCAA championships, of course, 78 with Boston University, IIHF Hall of Fame in 1999, United States Hockey Hall of Fame, inducted in 2003 as a member of the 80 U.S. Olympic hockey team, member of the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame, inducted in 83, again as part of the Lake Placid squad. He was a co-winner of the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year with his fellow teammates for 1980, Massachusetts Hockey Hall of Fame in 85, Boston University Athletic Hall of Fame in 89, NCAA East All-America First Team in 79, World Championships Pool B All-Star First Team in 83, ECAC All-Star First Team in 79, and a very educated man as well. He earned a BS in Social Education and Management from Boston University. Again, he was the sixth member of the 1980 U.S. Miracle on Ice team to be drafted by an NHL squad. He won 16-0 as a junior at Boston in 78, leading the squad again to the U.S. title. Went 55-6-3 doing 3 years with Boston, their varsity squad. Again, was starting goalie in all of Team USA's games at the Olympics, stopping 29 shots in the Russian upset, and had a 4-2 victory over Finland for the gold. Because it became a major U.S. celebrity as a result of his performance, which culminated with an emotional search for his father as he stood draped in U.S. flag in the ice at Lake Placid, which was seen in the two Lake Placid Miracle on Ice movies. Again, appeared on the cover of the March 10th 80 edition of Sports Illustrated after his first NHL game, and also appeared on there as part of the Miracle on Ice shot. Unfortunately, he missed the 81 Canada Cup tournament due to a broken right index finger suffered during Team USA practice in September 81. He missed part of the 82 season while recovering from an 81 surgery to remove a small tumor in his right shoulder, which of course was benign. During this time, on November 11, 81, he fell off a ladder at home and suffered a left foot sprain. Now, a negative incident in his life, of course. He was charged with vehicular manslaughter in 82, but was acquitted in a trial. I don't want to go into details of that because, again, the court settled that. Now, he also rejoined Team USA for 26 games during the 83 season and helped the squad secure a berth in the 84 Olympics by winning the Pool B title at the World Championships in Tokyo. He was also named honorary captain for the 98 AHL All-Star team. When he returned to Northeastern Massachusetts after retirement, he became a local businessman and marketing consultant. He also went to work for Valises Communications, a marketing service company. Now, big family, the Craig clan, as you say, 8 children. Now, this is the big deal as well. A lot of people don't know this. Guess who he was traded for? Now, Atlanta traded Jim to Boston in exchange for 1980 second-round pick, which Steve Coinroyd, and 81 third-round pick, which eventually became Mike Vernon. So technically, Jim Craig helped the Calgary Flames win the Stanley Cup by being traded to Boston. So hockey is, again, a weird game. Now, the coaching side, he was an assistant for Northeastern between 94 and 96 when Northeastern were in Hockey East. Final NHL totals, games played, 30. Again, 4 games with Atlanta, 23 with Boston, and 3 with Minnesota, 1-2-1 with Atlanta, 976 with Boston. 1-1 with Minnesota, again 11-10-7 with a 3.78 average. Erie Blades played 13 games in 82 and played 27 games with Salt Lake in 84, and also played for them in the playoffs. Now, what is kind of weird, ladies and gentlemen, when Jim Craig had played in the Olympics at the time, I think he was 22, so he was an overage, pretty well junior. But I saw him playing, like I said. Positionally, he played like your typical NCAA high-level goalie, and that's what you need at the Olympic level. It didn't transfer that well to the pros because what you call less mechanical way would need to be found, but Jim Craig was deserving all the accolades he had, because from 1972 to the time he left Boston University and played Olympic program, he was the best goalie in the States, pound for pound. And that alone deserves great recognition. There was a time, ladies and gentlemen, there wasn't too many great American goaltenders. Now there are quite a few. But Jim Craig, again, I think Atlanta lucked out to get him. But the positive publicity that he brought to American hockey by beating the Russians. You see, Team Canada played Russians early in the Olympic tournament and almost knocked them off, and are ready to be defeated. Don't forget, a year before, the best of the Russians, including Tretiak, defeated Canada and the rest of the teams in NHL in that All-Star game, Challenge Cup. They were strong at they were blowing out people at the World Championships, 76 Olympics. There's only Team USA that was challenging them. By 1980, the Russians were ripe, and only a good goalie, led by Jim Craig, a good coach, led by Herb Brooks, and a good overall four-line team, led by all the tough players, the Minnesota and the different Massachusetts players on Team USA. I'm not a Team USA apologist. They had players in that team that couldn't have made the roster were it not for the team concept that Herb Brooks put together. You got to win together or lose together. And like I'm just saying, Team Canada, we showed default in the U.S. system in that tournament, and sure enough, the U.S. took advantage. The U.S. would start slow and finish fast, and that's what we want. But Jim Craig, go on to YouTube and see all the big saves he made, especially against Sweden that first game, and against the Czechs, against the Russians. It's quite amazing. But the Lake Placid rink was made for that tight USA style. So that's the story of the great Jim Craig, the legendary Jim Craig, who's been inducted in more Hall of Fames than a lot of people know he is. I'm not joking. If you check all the Hall of Fames, if there was a goaltender Hall of Fame, he would make it as well, because everybody said, what's the name of the goalie that beat the Russians in 1980? It was a Trivial Pursuit question for years. Thanks for listening. Bye.